$300,000 in just a week. That's my biggest week ever in crypto. I imagine you didn't have those kind of gains this week, unless you were following me on Twitter and I said on October 27th, it's quite simple, invest heavily into the metaverse. Or when I posted on October 25th, my top 3 crypto gaming NFT metaverse altcoins to buy. Even Zuckerberg is getting in. And then right after that, I posted my top 10 altcoins to buy the dip on, of which most of those were metaverse coins. And then right after that, Zuckerberg came out and said, hey guys, we're changing our name to Facebook Meta officially, and basically give you a demo of what they've been working on. Right after that, every coin blew up 100 to 500%. Bad news is this, you just missed that big opportunity to make those huge 100 to 500% gains in just a few days. The good news is in today's video, I'm gonna show you exactly how I anticipated these moves. And in the future, you can find these kind of opportunities as well so you can make bank in the future. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is how to find the best altcoin projects before they blow up. From making millions of dollars as a day trader for 15 years and now mentoring students who are making $18,000 in a day, to making millions running an online course and coaching business and now mentoring students who are making $70,000 per month. I know how to make money online, but it's time to give back. So I'm going to give away over $10,000 worth of my online day trading and entrepreneur courses for absolutely free. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button, and I'll be running a small budget of advertisements retargeting people who subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now and be on the lookout for that secret advertisement that will give you access to all my programs for free. All right, guys, first and foremost, this is not financial advice. This is just shit that I've learned after trading in the stock market for almost 20 years, and I've been now fully transferred and migrated all my knowledge into crypto over about the last 2. Nothing has really changed. It's kind of like the saying that goes, you know, I wish I could go back 10 years and know what I know now. And that's basically what I've done in the crypto market. That's how I've turned, you know, $20,000 into about $700,000. And I've also got another accounts elsewhere. So I have about $1.2 million now invested in crypto. And I think that could get much, much higher going into 2022. Now, how did I turn, you know, a small amount of money into a large amount of money? It really boils down to just a few things, and it's very quite simple. A lot of people overcomplicate everything. And for me, as a technical analyst and a technical chartist per se, it always begins and ends with a chart, because it doesn't matter what the fundamentals, it doesn't matter what the story is, it doesn't matter how much you believe in this coin. If the chart's not talking, it's not going to pay to listen, okay? So that's a saying that I like to use. When the chart's talking, it pays to listen. So unless the chart is telling me that this is setting up in a prime opportunity before something is about to explode, or it's on a good dip buying opportunity, there's no reason to be in this coin, no matter how fucking good you think it is, because the more and more you get attached to a story, when the chart looks like shit, the more and more ability that chart has to just completely eat shit, and you go into a massive losing position because you're ignoring what the chart is telling you. You're ignoring the fact that this chart's a piece of shit and it's signaling that it's going down, but you're so wrapped up in the fundamentals or the story that you believe in, or your team that you're fucking jerking each other off in the Telegram group saying it's gonna go up. What if it never does? The chart's not telling you it's going up. The chart's telling you it's eating shit. So for me, it always begins and ends with the chart. And then we look into what are the things that can back this chart up. If you look at anything that moves in crypto, you can see, okay, as soon as it broke these key levels or broke down these key levels, that's when things really started moving. So for me, I'm always trying to find where are these key levels where things are going to have a big move in a short amount of time where we can actually capitalize on that. After that, you need a story, because say if you did have a breakout pattern and it's consolidating in here, and then it breaks out above these key levels that I was just talking about, for it to break out above here, what's going to happen next? We don't really know. Basically a 0 probability of taking a wild guess of what's going to happen. We don't know. But if you do have a good chart and it did break some key levels, if there is a big story, basically a big marketing plan that can actually continually spread the word about this coin or this stock or whatever asset you're buying into, whether it's gold or a commodity or anything. What is the story that once those key levels are broken, that can continue to push price action up, where it can continue to go up, and no matter how high these prices get, it'll keep going up. Why? Because there's idiots. And that's why things keep going up over the long haul. And that's also why there's about 95% of people who lose in trading and only about 5% of people who actually win. Okay. So the winners, the small amount of people who are in technically what I call the know, knowledge and why things move and why things going up and understanding supply and demand, we need idiots, because without these 95% of idiots, we would never be able to buy in down here because there needs to be liquidity. And also So we would never have anybody to sell to at insanely high parabolic prices after this thing has gone up, 1 to 5x in a short amount of time. We need idiots to sell our coins to who will buy when it's 5x up here, okay? So without the idiots who are buying in and just FOMOing in because they're just looking at what's the fucking everybody talking about on Twitter after it's already up 500%, those are the guys who are all gonna lose, and that's the majority of the population who have any money invested into any asset class. So that's basically what we need, is we need a good chart first and foremost. Then we need a story that idiots will buy into, and that's how we get to the moon, okay? Here's another thing. A lot of idiots might get in down here at some key levels that are nice, and they jump on this rocket ship, and we're going to the moon. We're gonna make bank, and we're smiling, we're happy, because we're up 200%, 500%. Things are going great. The problem is, these guys think that they're going to a destination, okay? Where do they think they're going? They think they're going to the fucking moon, okay? This is the moon. They think they're gonna land there or something. Like, listen, you don't land on the moon. What happens when you land on the moon? Is this over? The party's done? No, you fucking jump off of this rocket and you fucking get your parachute out and land safely back on Earth, back where reality is. Oh, this is Earth down here, whatever this is. We're basically trying to get out of these positions, sell to the idiots, jump out safely with a parachute, and land back on Earth, because that's where reality is. It's gonna happen when you're on the moon. Even if you do land there, you're gonna fucking die because you're gonna run out of oxygen. So we're not trying to go anywhere. We're not trying to go to the moon. It's fucking stupid. Only idiots are trying to go to the moon, die, because they're either gonna stay on the rocket ship before it just runs out of fuel and fucking explodes, or they're thinking they're landing on the moon, and then once they get there, they're not gonna know what to do. They're not gonna have any food, not gonna have any air. They're all gonna die and suffocate like a bunch of fucking idiots. They're going to become one of this pool of the 95% people who lose. The 5% of winners are going to jump off this rocket ship, jump back down to Earth with a nice breezy parachute, looking at this beautiful view with a pocket full of cash. And that's how trading works in a nutshell every single time. Look what happens on every fucking coin that goes up in a moonshot every single time. What happens? It goes up very, very fast, and then it dumps very, very fast, and then it probably doesn't do anything for a long, long time before it maybe makes a recovery and then maybe sees new highs. Okay, just like Bitcoin at 20K in 2017, 2018, took 4 or 5 years before it got back to 20K. Now it's at 60K, okay? But what do you do for 4 to 5 years? That's not how I look at things. I'm looking at short-term opportunities where I can make money in a week, pull my cash out, and then put that money into the next opportunity and then exponentially grow that account. That's how this game works. And that's what short-term trading opportunities are all about, is taking advantage of, one, a good chart, finding a good story that backs that chart up, and then take advantage of idiots who join this cult and they're like, we're all going to the fucking moon. We're not going to the moon, guys. And then there's like 5% of the people on the ship that's like, these fucking idiots. They think they're going to the moon. They're stupid. So that's basically how this game works over and over and over again. So let's just take a look at some of the plays that we called in the recent terms. And basically this all, again, begins and ends with the chart, and it's what I call Krypton patterns. Basically, I have 4 distinct patterns that are basically just triangle breakout patterns. But the difference with it is that what are the lead-in trends? Okay, there's 4 different, there's the kryptonite, revival, survival, and the force pattern that all are basically kind of similar breakout patterns. The only thing that's different about them is what is the lead in trend. And one of the biggest and most powerful ones that we trade a lot of, especially in crypto, because there's a lot of IDOs and ICOs, is what we call the kryptonite pattern. And that's what was here on Paribus. At least this was a recent listing on KuCoin. It probably was listed somewhere else before this when you look at CoinMarketCap. When it breaks out all-time highs, or the all-time closing high prices, you'll see a massive gain, okay? And I alerted to buy in my Telegram group. If you don't know what that is, it's the Wolf Pack. I alert all my buys and sells for all my trades and give you profit targets on all these. So this hit basically all of my profit targets except for the 4th. But going in from about 18 cents, this ripped to a high of 136%. And this is basically just a Cardano DEX, okay? So a lot of them that I made money on were metaverse, but there were also some other ones that were some really big plays based on the fact that the Cardano DEXs, and I talk about this in the Buy the Dip video that I made before this, a lot of them were suppressed in price. Cardano kept dumping, which told me that there was gonna be a short squeeze coming up soon. And that's what we saw on Paribus. But all I was looking at this before it actually broke out was like, okay, let's look at this. Okay, it's coming back down, retesting a support level at the 13 to 20 to 9 EMAs, which is like a key buy the dip area. If you're seeing any big spike in a candle like this, if you're looking to buy the dip, buy between the 9 and 20 EMA, or about the 13. Basically, those 3 EMAs is what I use, the 9, 13, and 20 EMAs. That's typically an area where there's a key level to buy the dip. Let's just see if that's true on Paribus, okay? Retested those previous highs, came back down, dipped right into the 9 and the 13 EMA, ripped up. Where did it come back down and do again? The 9, 13, and 20, right in that zone where I re-added to this before this made another massive rip. I'm fully out of Paribus. People are thinking this is going to go to the moon. I jumped off the rocket ship. I'm safe back on Earth, cash in hand, ready for the next opportunity. Now, let's take a look at some of the actual metaverse coins that we were talking about. Again, this was SENSO. This is one that we call a revival pattern breakout. A revival is basically just a lead-in trend that's bearish followed by a ascending triangle breakout pattern. And I bought the dip here on this, leading into it right around the 80-cent level prior to this actually breaking out. Okay, so for me, it's all about anticipating the breakout. I don't buy into the breakout like the idiots, okay? Those are the idiots that I need to actually sell to because I get in early before everything happens, and then I need idiots to sell to so that I can get out because they're all thinking they're going to the moon. They think they're going to stay on the moon, and that's going to be their new home. It's stupid, okay? Look what happened on SENSO. From our buy alert, 81 cents up to $2.30 in just a few days. And now this thing is dropped for all the idiots. Look how many idiots bought up here. Idiots, complete idiots. They lost half their money in 2 days. I got out on SENSO, selling on the way up. You know, every time I'm in these massive moonshot plays like this, I'm selling 10%, 20%, 20%, 20%. Just continually piecing out of this because even if it does, you know, see if this goes to $10 per coin, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Maybe this is the only opportunity we get. And then this thing just dumps and is back down at fucking 80 cents where we bought it. Just like this last time. What'd it do? Ripped all the way up. Breakout. Kryptonite pattern. 260. Then it went down to 55 cents for a long time. And it took a long time for it to get back up here. But the thing is, what if it never fucking does this? Okay. This is the thing about, doesn't matter what the fucking story is. What matters is what is the chart telling you? Okay. The chart was telling you that this has broke down all the support levels in the trend after that big run. Sell it. Get the fuck out. Then what happened? It dropped like 70% to a low of 52 cents. And during this whole time, there was no reason to buy this. There's no pattern here that says this is a good buy. The only pattern that came up here was when this broke the descending trend on that big massive buy volume spike here. Okay. All these weak spikes, no pattern here to buy. And then that's when I started finding this thing and be like, okay, look at this big spike here. Now let's wait for a consolidation and a dip buy at the 13 to 20 and 9 EMA. Then we'll buy in and then this thing actually ripped. So there's no point in holding on to this thing for months when you could have your money in opportunities that actually might do something. Chart. Then you look for a story. What was the story behind SENSO? It was a metaverse play. They're creating a digital metaverse and they're also partnered with some major DJs where they're going to be doing metaverse shows, live shows for people to join from all over the world using VR. So that's a story. Then you got Mark Zuckerberg coming out and saying they're going to build a whole metaverse. Okay. So that was basically what was happening here. The news about Facebook was already like Facebook is rumored to be changing their name to Meta to join the metaverse. Okay. But there wasn't any example of the demo platform out yet. That didn't happen until about 3 days after I made the video about all these metaverse plays. And so, yes, that was pretty lucky in the timing, but I was also very bullish on the metaverse prior to Facebook saying anything about joining the actual metaverse. That was this fuel to this fire and this story and this hype and momentum that comes. And that's basically what all we're trying to do. Somebody commented on my Instagram today and was like, hey, Cam, have you checked out Rocket Fuel or whatever the fuck that is? They're like, it's already up 500% today. I think it's a good buy. If anything's up 500% in the day, it is not a good fucking buy. Maybe it goes up another 500% after that. But you're also running the risk that it drops 50% tomorrow. For me, that's not a good risk reward. That's not a chart that's telling me to buy it. That's a chart that's saying this is extremely high risk. It's already had a massive run. If I'm going to buy it here, what am I? I'm a fucking idiot. People are going to be buying from me or selling to me are the people who are selling their profits because they got in early and they anticipated and got in this coin at the right time. Okay, so that was SENSO. Another one was Wild. That we got into down here in the 180s, and then this thing ripped up another 154%. We got in here pre-breakout. Okay, I was looking at this down here in the 180s like, okay, if this thing bounces off the 1329 EMAs here, breaks out over this previous high, 206, it's going to retest up here, was going to be a profit target for me also to lock in some gains. And then that's going to be a kryptonite breakout pattern. And that's going to be the level with this breaks out, we're going to see a massive gain. And that's exactly what happened here on Wild at about 154% gain. On this, I've sold about 5,000 coins of Wild. I still have about $60,000, $70,000 in Wild, but you can see I also sold my last PBX at 0.33, which is where about it's currently at, but we were in early on PBX. You can see me selling more of my PBX. I was selling sand up at 219 before this thing absolutely dumped. Where was the highs on sand? It was about 243. Usually when you see these coins, these massive coins, and you're seeing a fuckload of strength. You know, if you're looking at your account and you're like, holy shit, my account has never been this high. that is not the time to get completely just euphoric and be like, what if it keeps going? That is the time to start selling. Like, because if you ever want to see your account ever that high again, you need to start locking in gains, whether it be full. You know, typically I still have a lot of these coins still in my portfolio, but I was selling sand. I was selling 20% here. I was selling 20% here. I was selling 20% up here. So I'm always locking in gains on the way up. And obviously there's these stupid fucking memes out there that gets everybody super razzled up about, you know, oh, if you would have bought SHIB 1 year ago with $1,000, you'd have $2 million today. Like, a lot of that's fucking bullshit, okay? But if you want to live that fantasy, sell 60% of this fucking 200% gain you had in 2 days, then hold 40% for the long term. On every coin, when you see a 200% gain in 2 days, you fucking lock in some gains, if not all of them. Because I promise everything's gonna dump and you're gonna be like, shit, why didn't I fucking sell that? Doesn't mean that I can't go back up to even higher, because I do think the metaverse is gonna be huge, but it might take 6 months to a year. You don't really know what's gonna happen. Or all of a sudden Bitcoin and Ethereum fucking flip and the game's over. Bitcoin and Ethereum drop 30 to 50% and sand is back down under $1. And you're like, shit, I made fucking $200,000 in 2 days. And now I'm back down to fucking zero. And I might even actually lose money. And that happens a lot in crypto. So always be closing, always be locking in gains along the way up. You can see I was selling some more wild, 448. I was selling some of my NETVRK at 450 and 459. And I still have, you know, about $60,000, $70,000 in network. I was selling SENSO up here because I saw strength. I was like, all right, we're fucking ripping. And there's also a lot of resistance over here. So I was locking in gains. Okay, so that was another one. Atlas is another big one that I actually haven't sold anything yet. I started buying in on Atlas at about 8 cents, 9 cents, added on the dip here, added on the dip here. We're up, you know, from basically when we made that top 3 metaverse game video, it jumped another 68%. You can see in my Phantom wallet, I have about 525,000 coins still of Atlas. I still think this can go back up. I think it's a dollar coin. I think one of the coolest looking so far. So I'm definitely bullish on Atlas. I think this is still not made any big significant run. I'm actually looking to buy the dip on Atlas. And then there's, of course, sand. This was a motherfucker. I had a $200,000 position on sand at about 82 cents. I stopped out on this fucking day right here, 200 grand in this thing. And then it fucking pumped 200%. So rather than making $200,000, I lost 24,000. That was in my futures account. And then I bought back in at about 90 to $1 here on a smaller position on sand. You can see when I was selling sand, I still have 20,900 coins of sand. I have 14,000 wild, 11,000 network, still in ERG, still in SENSO. So I still have a lot of money into the metaverse, but I know every time there's gonna be a massive run and there's gonna be a massive dip. So I'd rather lock in gains on these euphoric prices and then have free capital to buy the dip, because I am planning on buying the dip soon on a lot of these coins. When exactly that is, I don't know. Shit's a little too euphoric right now. There's gonna be a lot of volatility. I would rather wait for the chart to kind of, you know, tell me that it's time to buy, or we get a dip back down to the 9, 13, and 20 EMAs. Okay, so I still hold sand. Also, there's mana, of which we got in at 80 to $1 on mana. Okay. And here's the thing. I said on October 27th, I said, I just deposited $250,000 in your crypto corporate account. What do you buy? Okay. Well, what did I buy? I bought mana and I bought engine. Okay. And if we look at my order history, I bought $24,000 worth of mana at 84 cents. And then I bought more mana, $10,000 worth at 97. And I bought another $15,000 worth at 99. And also bought ENJ at 223, and then I bought the dip today at 258. So in my Kraken account, it's now $373,000. I just put in $250,000 4 days ago. Okay, so mana, Decentraland, Metaverse, fucking crushed it for me because I put about $45,000 in. I just sold actually 25% because I'm not a fucking idiot. If we look at mana, what did this thing do? 85 cents to fucking $5. Okay, where did I get out of mana? I sold mana at 276. Okay, so I didn't catch $5. That happened very, very quick, but I sold about $40,000 worth of mana at 276. And so I fucking crushed it on mana, which is awesome. Okay, because why? I didn't buy in technically because I was just so balls deep in thinking that the metaverse was hot. Yes, I think the metaverse is hot, but what was I looking at first? I was looking at this chart. I was looking at this breaking out right here with this big volume spike, breaking out of this descending wedge pattern, buying in all of this. I could be super stoked on Decentraland back in May. What would have happened? Okay, because the chart wasn't really saying anything. It broke down the 1329 EMA, broke down the 50-day moving average. What happened from there? I would be negative 70% in my account. I will never go negative 77% in my account. Idiotic. I will wait patiently for something to tell me to buy this thing. And that's exactly what I did. Chart. Okay, great. What's the story? Metaverse. Great. Zuckerberg comes out and fucking says, boom, wham, bam, thank you, man. What do we need? We need fucking idiots that'll buy this thing at $4.79 after it just pumped in 2 days' time. Who the fuck buys at $4.50 to $5 after it made a massive run in just 2 days' time? Idiots do. That's why so many people lose when they actively trade anything, because this is what happens. People FOMO into things and it just doesn't work. That's not how this game works. You have to have patience and you have to wait. Those are some of the trades. Super hot market. The bad news is you missed it. Okay, you missed that big opportunity if you weren't following this closely. If you want to follow this more closely, definitely check out the Krypton system. Okay, you're gonna see why I was in things like Dogecoin, buying it at 0.00495 right before it ripped 120%. Can you imagine getting a Doge at 0.400444995? Obviously, I bought like $50,000 worth of that. Okay. And if I would have held, I don't know how much is this. This would have been one of those fucking stories where it's like you bought $50,000 and now it's worth 50 million. So it sucks. But a lot of times, 99% of the time, that fucking fantasy is not fucking real. 99.9999999% of the time, it's not fucking real. Okay, that's why you need to be locking in 60 to 70% of your gains at all time on the way up. If you want to have that fucking fantasy shit hold, 20% left after the big 1 to 5x in 2 days. So that's what we're going to learn about in the Krypton system. I've been master day trading for 16 years. It's now actually 17 years. I need to update this. Mentoring trading students since 2008. I started trading in 2006. So a long fucking time. Also, if you want to get into the Krypton course over here, okay, we just bought one, of which one we bought in early. We just pulled a double on one because we got in about 22 cents and it ripped as high as 37 cents. Go look at my YouTube channel as I made a video about that before it all happened. So if you're not subscribed, fucking subscribe, because you're going to get in these coins before they 1 to 2 to 5x before that happens. And if you want the real juice before everything happens, you want my trade alerts with stop losses, target levels. What is the pattern that we're getting into? What's the info on the coin? What is the strategy? You definitely want to get into the Wolf Alerts Telegram group. It's very cheap, just $47 a month. And in fact, I'm going to raise the fucking prices because there's too many people in here. There's 1,700 people in here. And this is too cheap. And if you want to get on the Krypton course, there's also going to be a link below for that, because I can guarantee you, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose money. If you're in the Wolf Alerts group and you're only following alerts, probably going to lose money because you have no fucking clue what's going on. You're going to get manipulated into thinking that, okay, this thing's at 500%. It's never going to fucking end. It's going to keep going to the fucking moon. We're going to land there. We're going to have a big fucking party. That's what you're going to do. If you watch the Krypton course, you're going to understand why we need to exit and jump off this fucking rocket ship. So anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. I'll make another video soon and shortly about what are my top plays coming up, when I'm going to be buying the dip on the metaverse, and one of my favorite coins I'm going to be buying up, because the metaverse is going to be fucking huge. I locked in my gains, made that quick cash in 1 to 2 days, 300 grand a week. I think it could be millions of dollars long term. I like to recycle my profits and then have free capital to buy the dip when it happens, because we know the dip is coming. It comes every time. Okay, you see a 500% gain, sell it, because it's going to drop another 50, 60, 70% off those highs. Anyways, that's a wrap for today's video, guys. Think logically. Use your fucking brain. Don't play into the fantasy. Just think logically. There's no such thing as the fucking moon. See you in the next one. Boom. Can't speak. I can't talk.